Hello and welcome, Lynx here, and I'm bringing you the second part of the Snowdrop Diaries. Do the monsters exist? Who knows? Are we going to save the world from them? If they exist? Who knows? We'll see. Maybe it's just the legends that the girl is really into. And maybe really, as one of the sisters said, her imagination is basically wild. Let's find out. Month of the Aquatic Dragon, day 11. Dear Diary, our wounded guest finally woke up. He had been suffering from a terrible fever for a whole week, and all of us prayed he would recover soon. Yeah, because that's how you help people. May the will of Saint Eleonora be with us. Civil said his name was Orin and he was a merchant. I wasn't able to question her further because Sister Vanessa had burdened poor Sibyl with various errands. And she strictly forbade me to visit our patient. What a shame! I have to find out if he has seen the monster. I need to know what exactly Nate and I have to deal with. Time is running out, and I still haven't found out how exactly should I use the snowdrops. I'm afraid I might fail when the time comes, and there is no one I can ask for advice. Everyone is so gloomy. Do they feel the presence of the monster? What should I do, dear diary? Please give me an answer. What should I do now? What should I do? Sibyl was busy, Nate was far away, and the monster was wandering somewhere in the woods. I couldn't feel at ease, and even the thought of the snowdrop's protective power didn't bring me relief anymore. I wanted someone to share my worries with, so I hurried to Sister Monica. She always listened to me, and she never scolded me, unlike Sister Vanessa and the other stern older nuns. Alas, I came at a bad time. The elder sisters were arguing. I never liked their quarrels, which were so terrifying they hurt my ears, reaching to the farthest corners of our monastery like thunderclaps. Usually I ran away as soon as I heard the tempest. But today I wanted to talk to Sister Monica so bad. I decided to wait until the storm of screams would come to an end, and stood still while witnessing the hassle from afar. It's middle of the night, I will not be screaming. Also, Sister Monica, absolutely beautiful.
Why is he still there, Monica?
Throwing a halted person in the woods is not a very noble thing to do.
Don't exaggerate, he's quite healthy.
He managed to string two words together in a sentence. It's a little different from recovery.
Vanessa pursed her lips with irritation, but remained silent. Sister Monica always had the last word. She was the only one who dared to oppose Sister Vanessa, thus earning Sibyl's eternal respect and affection.
Let him stay a few more weeks, it won't kill us.
You are so easygoing. Do the rules of our monastery mean anything to you?
And you are so stuck up, really. You should pull that stick out of your... Anyway.
Oh, why am I even asking? If it wasn't for Mr. Basefield's request, you would have never become a full-fledged sister.
Yeah, but I became one. Probably because I feel more love for my fellow man than a certain grumpy wet blanket.
Sister Monica!
I chose to become a sister so I could help people. That's what I do. I'm trying to save the life of a wounded merchant who can't take a few steps without collapsing with high fever again.
Fine, understand. I'm sorry.
I could see how hard it was for Sister Vanessa to apologize, but she pulled herself together and managed to do it.
That person may stay in the monastery until he is well enough, but I absolutely refuse to let Sybil take care of him.
Nothing is good enough for you. You wanted to make the girl busy with work so she would have no time for goofing around and running in the woods. Here you go.
Ah, she mustn't spend time with her man, Monica.
He's not a man but a wounded child, unable to eat on his own. Now Sybil is busy up to her neck.
Vanessa bit her lower lip, pondering whether she had won or lost. Lost. Finally, she let a heavy sigh escape from her mouth, said goodbye to Sister Monica, and walked down the corridor so quickly I didn't have time to hide.
Nellie!
Yes!
Eavesdropping on other people's conversations is a sin.
Is it? Is it written like that in the book? I don't know. I couldn't care less.
I didn't mean to.
As punishment, you must recite 10 prayers from the night of the Fury Sworn. That's much better than hanging around doing nothing.
Got it.
Have you memorized the 7th sacrament I gave you last week?
I'm sorry, Sister Vanessa. So many things have happened. Where is the monster, the Snowdrop's Orin?
Oh, Orin!
She spat out the merchant's name with a terrible hatred and contempt. I shuddered, leaning back.
Orin, 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 for the holy elder's sake, Nellie!
Wow, her eyes. Sister Vanessa staggered but managed to stay on her feet by touching the wall with the palm of her other hand. Her hand. Now her other hand gripped the rosary so tightly I feared it would tear her skin.
Don't let the monster destroy Nellie!
What the fuck? I heard her right, that was what she said. For the first time, someone had voiced my fears.
Without the power of prayer, you will never be able to defeat the monster, Nellie. Pray and think of nothing else.
Yeah, sure. Right, definitely. Yeah, the prayer. God, of course. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Obviously. I'm being sarcastic, of course.
Fine! Monsters are terribly treacherous. You had best watch out.
I'm already
No, you don't seem to understand.
Sister Vanessa jumped 2 steps forward and clutched my shoulder with one hand while holding cross right up to my nose with the other. I was taken back by the passion of her actions. She's crazy. Sister Vanessa had never shown such a strong emotion before. How great is her fear of the monster?
Never take off the rosary, Nellie. It has power to protect you. The very sight of it is unbearable for all evil beings. Remember that. Those third take of your rosary are dangerous.
Fine, I'll remember.
But, you know, it's the same as with the earrings. You should not be allowed to wear it, so... I guess I'm the monster.
Don't just remember my words, but believe them, Nellie. Believe them. Monsters can disguise themselves as humans, Nellie. Stay away from them. Do you understand?
Huh? Then how about I stay away from you as well? Right?
Those beasts, those devils, they tend to tempt you with their sweet words, but follow them and you will be doomed. Only ones who are strong in spirit are able to overcome temptation. Do you understand, Nellie? Do you understand? Yes.
Sister Vanessa's face became so distorted that she looked like a monster herself. Yeah, as I mentioned. I noticed the tears in the corners of her eyes.
Beware of the beast, Nellie.
Shook my shoulder.
Pray, 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 and you'll be saved.
She shook my shoulder again. I tried to pull back, but her thin, graceful fingers seemed to be digging into my skin.
I raised you, Nellie, ever since I found you on the doorstep of the monastery. You're a good girl, aren't you? Will you pay me?
Of course.
No.
That's good. Blessed we are.
More like crazy you are.
Now, stop it.
Sister Monica appeared in front of me and freed me from Sister Vanessa's grip.
I can't listen anymore. Calm down, Vanessa, you crazy wench.
I'm sorry. I need to adjust my appearance.
The elder sister quickly withdrew, as if she was ashamed to look me in the eye. Understandably enough, I mean, come on.
Don't mind her.
Don't mind her. She's just anxious because of Orin.
But why?
She fears his arrival might be a bad omen.
Oh!
That wasn't surprising, as the monster could have followed his trail to Wastefield Monastery. Monica shook her head with a light-hearted snort.
She's overdoing it. Too bad my words will never reach her. I'm an outsider after all, and I haven't raised you girls since you were babies.
Unlike Sibyl and I, Sister Monica came to the monastery on her own will. She had spent 5 years as a novice before becoming a full-fledged nun. However, for Sister Vanessa, anyone who hadn't been absorbed in prayers within the monastic walls since their younger years was an untrustworthy stranger. Okay, so basically the wench Vanessa is like, only my way is the correct way, right? So ridiculous.
You're not an outsider, Sister Monica. Sibyl and I love you very much. Thank you, dear. Aren't you afraid of the monster too? How should we live with it? Monster? Oh, don't worry. We'll take the bastard down somehow. I see. You don't believe in it. Monsters don't exist, Nellie.
Sister Monica underestimated the danger. Perhaps Sister Vanessa was right. At times, outsiders weren't capable of understanding the obvious things.
Hurry up! Studying the prayers isn't such a bad idea.
Sister Monica is my kind of sister. Anyway, I couldn't bring myself to follow Sister Monica's advice.
Huh? What? Am I trembling?
I was shivering, and I could clearly see my palms shaking.
Oh.
What should I do when even Sister Vanessa fears the monster? Should I follow her advice and pray? Would an ordinary prayer be strong enough weapon against the demon's servant?
No.
No, definitely not. Could Orin himself be a monster? Judging by Sister Vanessa's fears, that's how it is. What harm would he do to our peaceful monastery? I bit my lip, the same way Sister Vanessa offended. Oh no, and started pacing the endless corridors.
What should I do?
Stomp, stomp, stomp.
I'm scared.
More stomping.
No, I mustn't be scared. I have to. Ouch!
I didn't notice that Sibyl was walking towards me at all.
Don't get carried away. Sorry, Sibyl, I wanted. Forgive me, but I'm busy. Let's talk later, okay?
Sibyl walked away in the direction of the cell where Orin was staying. My friend looked tired and lost in thoughts. I hope she wasn't getting exhausted, and that Orin wasn't a monster, otherwise Sibyl was in grave danger.
Dear diary, I'm worried about Sibyl.
She looked a little ill. Yeah, her eyes were kinda dead. Why hadn't Sister Vanessa noticed it? She could have given Sibyl a couple of days to rest. because Vanessa is a wench. She's clearly not in the mood for running into the woods right now. I still haven't been able to talk to her. Not about her health, nor about Orin. I feel like I'm wandering in the fog. Why doesn't the light of the magical snowdrop show me the way? I need to work harder. I'm going to reread all the legends related to Saint Eleonora and Nathaniel the Knight. That is, the spirit. And I won't let my guard down. No one knows under whose guise the monster is hiding. My guess is Vanessa. Mouth of the Aquatic Dragon, day 20. Dear Diary, I made up my mind. Today Sibyl won't get away from me. I'm going to use all of my strength and nail her to the wall. I mustered all my courage, determination and bravery, worthy of Saint Eleonora, and blocked Sibyl's path. My friend had been just released from one of the Sister Vanessa's assignments, and she looked pale with fatigue.
Oh, what's wrong, Nellie? Stop avoiding me.
Huh? What?
I beg you, you've been running away for weeks without giving me a single chance to talk to you.
Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't do it on purpose. It's just that I'm really tired. Vanessa decided to turn me into a slave. As if things like that could stop me for real.
What do you mean?
Nothing. Don't mind it, Nellie. I'm fine. We're all that worried.
Very much.
Snowdrop, you're the only one who brings me joy during these cold, gloomy days.
Then I'll always be there for you, to cheer you up all day long.
What a tempting offer. Sorry, Nellie, but it's impossible. I have to look after Orin. Vanessa would be furious if she caught you near his cell.
Is he getting better?
Yeah. His wounds are starting to heal. Wait a little more and Vanessa will kick him out.
He's in danger, is he?
Eh? Dangerous? No, not at all. Trust me, he won't do us any harm.
Sibyl waved her arms, as if trying to reinforce the power of her words with her movements. What's with the sweat for? Was it just me, or was there a spot of scarlet on her calf? H button. Yes, you are correct, there is something. Good eyes, Nellie.
Horace is a seasoned traveler, a merchant. You even can't imagine how many places he had visited. I have to thank Sister Monica again. If it wasn't for her genius idea, I never have heard so many tales about the outside world. Orin's stories are worth all the effort I've spent on him.
He sounds like a really good person.
Yes, probably.
Did he tell you who attacked him?
Sibyl hesitated for a moment.
Please, I need to know. I beg you, Sibyl.
Snowdrop, I still can't say no to you.
My friend's face darkened and took on an healthy greenish hue.
Orin said he was attacked by a monster.
I was shaken with shock.
The monster!
Calm down, Nellie.
I knew it. It's here.
It must have descended to us from the constellation. That must be the reason why the snowdrops were in bloom right now. Holy elders, it couldn't be just a coincidence. I couldn't wait any longer, for Sister Vanessa had warned me that the monster was treacherous and capable of taking any disguise. How was I supposed to expose it? Sitting and waiting was pointless. I had to meet up with Nate as soon as possible.
Hey! Who? Can you hear me?
I got so overwhelmed that I fell out of the conversation.
It's fine. I'm just being emotional.
That's why I didn't want to tell you.
No, you did the right thing. Thank you, Sibyl.
Fine then, don't scare me anymore, silly Snowdrop.
My friend touched her forehead, and once again I noticed a red spot on her calf.
Sister Vanessa would be furious if she sees this. The novices must be scared to the purity of mind as well as keeping a neat appearance.
Huh?
There's a stain on your sleeve. Let's wash it away.
Oh! Huh? I didn't even notice. Ew! It's all because of Vanessa's assignments. That stress made my nose bleed.
How awful.
I was hardly surprised. I've never seen Sibyl looking so exhausted before.
Well, you're right. We should wash away the stain before we're caught by a certain monster. The one named Vanessa.
Dude, this place is creepy as hell. We headed to the kitchen. My head was filled with thoughts about the beast. So, Sister Vanessa was mistaken. Orin wasn't the monster but a victim. Where was the monster hiding? What was it planning? Had it attacked anyone beside Orin and his companions? Wastefield was in danger. I had to warn Nate. I had to... Sibyl halted abruptly and I bumped my nose into her shoulder. Ow!
What's wrong?
Sibyl stared at something, forgetting how to blink. I followed her gaze and froze.
I returned.
It can't be.
Monster. The monster was back. My heart was beating so frantically in my chest that the sounds of the world around me couldn't reach my ears anymore. Gone was the wind outside the window, the rustling of my clothes, mine and Sibyl's heavy breathing. Only chaotic, intermittent drumming remained inside my chest. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Actually... With a tremendous effort, I prayed to the Holy Elders. The familiar solemn words breathed courage into my stiffened body.
Oh. Sibyl!
I pulled my friend's sleeve.
Don't be afraid, Sibyl. I'll protect you, for sure.
Nellie!
You'll see.
The blood-colored inscription frightened me, but it also filled me with determination. There were no longer any doubts. The monster was among us. I'm surprised people are still watching that game, to be honest. Like, why? I watched one stream and I was bored of it already. Like, anyway.
Well, thank you, Nellie. We've got to tell the elder sisters.
I'll run and fetch Sister Vanessa.
Yeah, let her see this.
I ran as fast as I could, still catching echoes of the drum march inside my head.
Monster! 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 Here, here, here! Near, near, near!
That's how it was, dear diary. I'm very, very scared, but I have no choice. Guided by the will of the saints, I pledge to fulfill my duty by protecting Sibyl and the other inhabitants of the monastery. What if it was all a prank? I wonder why Sibyl had actually the blood on her clothes then. Was it her who did that, or... I'm not sure. I'm very, very scared, but I have no choice. Guided by the will of the saints, I pledge to fulfill my duty by protecting Sibyl and the other inhabitants of the monastery. I have written a letter to Nate. I'm sure he'll come here as soon as he reads it. All I can do now is wait. Oh, Saint Eleonora, please protect us all and grace us with your blessing. for a demon has entered the sanctuary. Mouth of the Aquatic Dragon, Day 23. Dear Diary, Nate finally paid a visit to the monastery today. Seeing him boded well for my anxiety, and I almost ran and jumped while stepping onto the stones of the staircase. Nellie. Much to my surprise, Nate took the news about the monster's arrival with amusing light-mindedness. Are you serious about that?
Of course I am. How could it be otherwise, Nate?
I don't know much about monsters, but are they even capable of writing on the walls?
Why not? They take on human disguises with ease. They have the access to human knowledge and skills.
I'm not belittling your fears in the slightest, but please think about it. Was their writing really done in blood?
I don't know. Sister Vanessa won't tell me. She has forbidden the very mention of this incident, and anyone who can't keep their mouth shut will be forced to learn the primal anthem by heart.
Good luck with that. I have no idea what primal anthem is. But whatever. I don't even remember the country's anthem, to be fair. I have absolutely terrible memory for lyrics. I don't remember lyrics of any song or of anything. Zero. Literally. I'll remember like one line and that's it. Anyway. Her action seems sensible. It's pointless to scare the sisters.
But we can't just wash the monster's message away and pretend it never happened. That beast is dangerous. That beast is murderer. The monster had re-attacked Orin and ripped his friends to pieces. You mustn't waste our time. Absolutely.
Nellie. Nate stepped so close to me. I was unwillingly struck by the length of his dark eyelashes. I don't know why with the enter button, like it doesn't skip on the first try always. Trust me, I share your worries. I'm disturbed by the death of Orin's companions and by the inscription. But I don't think the monster is the one to blame.
Then who is?
I know, maybe Orin himself.
You think he's a monster?
He could be dangerous. Didn't mean Nate also suspected Orin, even though he refused to recognize the merchant as the monster from the legend. I had my doubts.
Orin is injured. The elder sisters tends to repeat that he can hardly walk. It would be impossible for him to get the blood and leave a message.
Nate bowed his head slightly, acknowledging my point. I, for one, understood his wavering. Strange things started happening right after Orin's arrival in the monastery. Was he the one who had brought the beast into the sanctuary? Had he unwittingly contributed to its infiltration?
We have to do something, Nate. The two of us, together.
You are taking the legend way too seriously.
I don't. Think about it, Nate. The constellation had disappeared. People have died. The sole survivor claims to have been attacked by a monster. Even the magical snowdrops have blossomed. Why do you hesitate?
I almost cried with tears of resentment. Nate's hand gently touched my cheek. Oh. Nellie,
You don't believe me?
I'm sorry,
I've got to go.
I could see it in his dark eyes. There was no point in conversing further. Nate had decided in advance that the monster didn't exist. He didn't wish to become Nathaniel the Knight, whom Vacefield and the rest of the world needed the most right now. I wasn't able to stop my tears, and I ran away in shame, without attempting to reach out to the heart of my beloved. My soul was falling apart. Nate didn't believe me, Sybil was too busy and exhausted. Sister Monica, an outsider, couldn't help me. And overly strict Sister Vanessa worried so much about my safety, she'd rather lock me inside a cell than join our efforts. And then lock herself in her own cell. My head was overflowing with painful thoughts, each one nastier than the other, and I knew that my mental turmoil would make me vulnerable to the danger. The only solace for my despondency lay in the glade full of magical snowdrops. Oh, I don't know about that. Sounds like a bad idea. My feet had brought me to the lovely spot where the last thing I could expect would be a monster attack. I had to sneak through the secret passage Sybil had discovered. I ended up alone in the snow-white forest, which repulsed me with its cold, unfriendly purity. Then I found footprints in the snow. Only Sybil and I knew about the passage. Sister Vanessa had never been able to make us confess about how we managed to get in the woods on that ill-fated day when we met Orion.
We don't remember.
Could it be? I hurried forward. The sun irrevocably crept over the horizon, throwing me into the night's embrace. The sky was still covered by the clouds. Had the constellation not appeared, its light would surely have broken through and illuminated my path. The brisk walk quickly deprived me of all my strength. My lungs shrunk from the cold. I breathed heavily, releasing large clouds of steam from my mouth. Let's go, let's go. I kept telling myself. I wanted to see a familiar face so badly, to hear warm and reassuring words. I longed to get rid of my oppressive feeling of loneliness. There she was, Sybil. My friend was standing by the glade with magical snowdrops.
See?
I stopped, noticing the rage creasing the girl's pretty face.
I hate it! Disappear! Just disappear! All of this. Let it descend into darkness.
Huh. So it was her. Huh? She made a sharp swing with her hand and tossed something right into the glade of snowdrops. She almost hissed, as if that object was burning her palm. I was taken back by this scene, by witnessing Sybil being overwhelmed with rage and frenzy. I retreated unconsciously, hiding behind a tree. She dashed before my eyes while spewing the curses that were hardly acceptable in a nun's speech. She didn't notice me, nor the chain of footsteps running parallel to her own.
What happened? What if Sister Vanessa said something to her?
Or did something to her? I wished I could follow my friend, but though I am ashamed to admit it, I felt afraid of her. Sybil scared me. Her rage and pain was so great, it seemed capable of inflicting a mortal wound on anyone who dared to approach her. I hesitated while trying to find an excuse for my cowardice. Suddenly, I remembered the object Sybil had thrown into the glade. The snowdrops were glowing soothingly, and my soul felt a little lighter. The dim blue light let me see what I was looking for.
Oh!
I wonder why that.
Sybil, why?
With my fingers trembling with anxiety, I picked up a silver rosary. Oh yeah, you say it's rosary. I constantly say cross. Whatever, really. Dear Diary, after today's events, I can't get a certain unpleasant thought off my head. I don't want to believe it, but I need to express my doubts. At least, on paper. Sybil. She had been walking alone in the woods on the day Orion was wounded. She had stiffened when I asked her to go to the forest again. I noticed blood on the cuff of her sleeve. Sister Vanessa had told me the monster can take on human form. What if Sybil is connected to the monster? No, diary, no, no, no. I refuse to believe it. Sybil is my best friend. She can't be a horrible beast who kills people. She can't. I think Nate was right. It all started with the arrival of Orin. There must be a reason why Sister Vanessa was trying to keep me and Sybil away from him. I'll try to figure out how to deal with him. I won't be able to fall asleep anyway. We have no idea if she fell asleep or not, which is fine. However, let's end the episode and I will fall asleep. And we'll of course continue tomorrow. And we'll see if Monastery is invaded by a monster or not. We'll see. For now, though, you know, if you enjoyed, consider liking as per usual. What do you guys think? Is Sybil the monster or not? Or maybe Vanessa is the monster? I mean, she reacted quite crazily there, like almost kind of revealing the form of a monster, I would say, the face and so on. Or maybe it's Orin in the end, who knows? Or maybe it's nobody or something. Who knows? Also, subscribe if you haven't already, that would be very much appreciated. As per usual. There's also Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, to which you can go if you want. And that's it for the video. Have a wonderful week. Given that when this is out, it's Monday, I believe. I think so. Yeah. I see you tomorrow as well. Bye bye.